my backyard here in Florida. We still have power, which is really crazy. Hopefully everyone can hear me. I'm wearing my AirPods, and so far things are a little bit less crazy than I thought. We still have electricity, and I do want to emphasize that we are not in a flood zone and we are not in an evacuation zone. So that's why we are staying here. So let me see if I can, I don't know if I'm going to be able to flip the camera around. All right, apparently, all right, let me see if I can do this. Hold on a second. Let me show you what's outside here because it's pretty freaking crazy. All right, this is what I'm looking at. This is my backyard. I'm in our patio right now. So I am outside of Tampa, Florida, and D-Day is here, guys. This is Hurricane Ian. It still hasn't really made its way here. I guess later today is when we're going to really start to feel, wow, okay, the rain is really coming in here, guys. And my husband advised me not to do this because the rain, like, even though I'm in a screened-in patio, the rain and the wind, it's like blowing rain in from like every direction. And that actually is the case. I'm getting pretty wet. So this is what it looks like here outside Tampa, Florida. The wind is about 35 miles an hour, and I think it's supposed to be around 50 miles an hour later, maybe even more. Now, Hurricane Ian did hit as a Category 4, borderline Category 5, down near the Fort Myers area. Yeah, everything's okay so far. Like, I woke up and we still had power. So I made some coffee. The rabbit's like a little bit freaked out, but it's like not, you know, my husband was even wondering if we really had to put up the storm shutters. I guess we'll find out later. But so far, like, I mean, it really hasn't made its way. It's not as close to us as it will be, but we have a retention pond in the back of our community, and it's definitely pretty. Water is moving pretty good, and usually we have a lot of birds back here. And today there's not a bird to be seen, but usually there's like 100 birds back here chilling, and they are definitely not here. A few of my neighbors have evacuated, but a lot of my neighbors seem to be staying. Pretty much everybody in our neighborhood put up our. Okay, I got to move back because the rain's coming in. I don't think this phone is waterproof, but this is what it looks like. I just wanted to, and the only reason I'm doing this is because we still have electricity, so I'll still be able to charge my phone when I get back. Okay, there's like one bird. I don't know where they're going. But this is what it looks like. And we're not even in the worst area. The worst area is south of us. So I'm outside Tampa, Florida. And the storm yesterday was supposed to be on a more direct path to where I am. But today it's not. So it's moved southeast. Yeah, look at all this rain. But here's the crazy thing, guys. We've had more intense rainstorms like normally. The only difference, in my opinion, is the wind. But like it rain, I'm not kidding. It rains with this level of intensity almost every day in the summer. So this is to me not that abnormal. The only thing that makes a difference for me is the wind. It's not usually this windy, but I was still able to go outside. There's obviously nobody driving on the roads. I've seen a couple of my TV reporter friends posting some damage down near Sarasota. So that's pretty interesting. My mom lives more near Sarasota, but she's also really far inland, so she should be okay. Um, and also, I want to be clear, we are not near, while there's this like little retention pond, we're not close to the water. So we're several miles from the shore. So we are not in a flood zone. We're not in an evacuation zone or anything like that. So we're not really in one of those areas with the mandatory evacuations or with like the real danger of storm surge. So, and in fact, I checked, we're pretty far above sea level. So I think at this point, the only thing, my biggest concern, just from a personal standpoint, is electricity. I am wondering if we're going to have power because we lose power here in our neighborhood every time it rains. And I'm actually super surprised that we still have power right now. So Yeah, look at this. Look at the little retention. Let me see if I can zoom in. Okay, here we go. Oh my God. Okay, yeah, it's starting to rain in. The wind is pretty intense here. Yeah, look at this. Look at all this water here. All right, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So, yeah, I can't even open the patio door because the wind is just really bad. So, okay, thank you guys. All right. Do not take chances. Need your sewing expertise. Yeah, and I fully realize the surge is going to come later. But again, we are not in an area that's, my neighborhood is not prone to flooding at all. We're in a newer neighborhood, and we're also pretty far above sea level compared to a lot of other places here in Florida. But yeah, this is pretty wild. But we have not lost electricity yet. So that has been my biggest surprise. I got to make a cup of coffee. The rabbit is a little bit freaked out. She seems to kind of sense something's going on. So when I let her out this morning to chill, she just seemed a little bit on edge or something. So that, she seems to kind of sense something's going on. If you guys have any questions, drop them in the chat and I'll see if I can answer them. But this has been pretty interesting so far. This is, again, my first, it's like Fisher Price, my first hurricane. Do I need like a play set? I don't know. But I think the electricity situation is probably going to be dicey later on. But yeah, let's take a walk here. The wind is not as intense as it was a couple minutes ago, so I don't have as much rain blowing in on my face. So this is what it looks like. This is Florida, guys. And I know I realize that if you're not in Florida, you probably think this looks super scary. And don't get me wrong, it definitely is concerning. But as a Florida resident, this is just something that we are used to. But yeah, like just from a firsthand standpoint, though, I personally don't feel like this rainstorm is more intense than I've seen on other days. The only differentiating factor is the wind. So, yeah, the electric is get the sewing machine on. So my plan for today, if the power stays on, I mean we've got everything prepared. We've got all our batteries charged. We have some water set aside. So I mean, if we do not lose power, my plan is I need to cut some fabric for some more fabric bundles for the Etsy shop. The mail service here is definitely interrupted. So, as I mentioned in the video, I will not be able to ship out any Etsy packages until who knows when. So there's no mail service. There's no trash pickup. There's no nothing here. So these are our hurricane shutters. These came with the house. So that was kind of nice. It's a no makeup day today, guys, because my thought was that if we lose power, I don't want to have to remove makeup or anything like that. So this is like the real deal here. So yeah, I do have some acne and stuff. So that's fun. But it's really so far, thank goodness it has not been, I'm not super freaked out at this point. Maybe I should be more freaked out. But I also think just from covering all these storms and news events as a producer over the years, like I feel like a little bit desensitized to news, which sounds really, it's gonna sound, I realize that's gonna come off a little bit strange. But that's just, just what I, just my own firsthand experiences. And I just don't tend to get too freaked out about a lot of stuff. So yeah, I realize the chances of us losing power is pretty much 100%. We have not yet. So I've been trying to keep my devices charged and everything so that when we do lose power, I also have a couple power bricks and stuff. So I have some stuff. I'm going to charge up my AirPods, but yeah, so we're doing okay. These storm shutters came in handy. My husband, it didn't take him very long to put up. It took him about an hour by himself. We also don't have a two-story house, so we don't have to worry about, he didn't have to worry about getting up on a ladder or anything like that. So it's been pretty interesting though. But also, if you're in Florida, these neighborhood Facebook groups, like things are getting pretty interesting in there too. So there's been a lot of really like a lot of like frantic posts, especially for a lot. I know a lot of people moved to Florida in the last year or so. So there's a lot of people here in the Tampa Bay area who have never experienced a hurricane or like a tropical storm before ever. All right, Simone, I live in Texas, and I get what you mean. Yeah, like that's the thing. Like this is just something you're like used to, and and also again, as a producer in at TV stations, I've just covered so many hurricanes before that this is. Oh, I got to turn this around again. All right, it's getting windy again. Yeah, look at that retention pond. And I did a live stream yesterday with my real estate friend Melanie, and somebody asked in the chat, like, what happens to all the alligators? And my personal conspiracy theory is that I think the alligators are just going to take over Florida. That's what I think, because we do sometimes get gators. Gators do like freshwater better, but we have spotted some alligators in like ponds like this. I mean, they're kind of everywhere, so you can't really get away. But here's the thing: they're like, as long as you kind of keep your distance, the alligators really aren't going to do anything to you for the most part. So it's really not, I'm not scared. I'm not constantly afraid of like running into an alligator. Although, funny story, I was taking the mail out a couple weeks ago, and I usually take my mail out to the mailbox at like 1 a.m. And I saw what I believe is an armadillo, like kind of toddling across our yard. And that was strange because I've never seen one before. And it just looked so funny. Like it was a very strange looking animal. And the way it walked was pretty funny. So, wow. Yeah, look at all this rain. It's very windy. I'm wearing my like embroidered fleece today. But oh my gosh. All right, let me see if I can zoom in the camera. Yeah, okay, this wind. Yeah, check out this wind over here. But I am, again, I want to emphasize I'm not in a flood zone. I'm not in an evacuation zone. So we are not in an area that's like very prone to storm surge or very prone to, the worst of the storm. But yeah, check out this little retention pond. I mean, this is, it's not you. There's not usually a lot of movement in the pond. So that's kind of, yeah, look at this wind. Woo. There is a lot of wind here. Okay, let me see if I can. Yeah, check this out. Oh my gosh. This is a live look from a backyard in Florida. Okay, yeah, I hope my phone doesn't get rained on too much. But this is what it looks like, guys. This is Florida in the burbs. In the burbs here. So my husband last night, we did bring everything inside. So anything that, and that is a concern, is that you want to bring anything inside that could be like a projectile. Okay, yeah, I'm getting some splashback here. Woo! All right, we're getting a little bit of that here. But if you guys have any questions or comments about Hurricane Ian, drop them in the chat. But so far, everyth's okay. We still have power, so that's a very pleasant surprise, especially because I just, not to be TMI, but this is a quote unquote very bad time of the month. So that's going to be fun. And I really hope we don't lose, we don't lose water, because that would really suck too. So this is what it looks like. Our neighbors, yeah, the rain is pretty, okay. Oh, and I could actually show you guys this. This is our, right here, this is my bedroom window. And this is one of our hurricane shutters that my husband put up. The weird thing is, too, is that with all the shutters up, it feels more ominous than it actually is, because there's no light coming into the house. So it looks super dark in there, but it's really not. It's just because of all of the shutters. But they're pretty easy to put up, and they, you just have to bolt some stuff into place and everything like that. But this is the current situation here outside Tampa, Florida. Hurricane Ian 2022, baby. Oh, yeah. But I'm hoping, I got to make a second cup of coffee just in case, again, in case the electricity goes out, I at least want some coffee and stuff. And yeah, this is the current sitch. Can I show you guys, though? My husband does have he has like a backyard garden going on. I think these are tomato plants or something. I didn't even realize he was growing anything back here, but he is. So I think he also might have a pepper. He did move the plants back a little bit to, oh, is that a tomato? Okay, these are cool. Okay, let's check these guys out. All right, this is a Florida garden, real life Florida garden here. Yeah, this looks kind of cool. I didn't even realize, I honestly have not been back here in months. I didn't even know what he was doing back here. I had no idea he had a garden because he had some other tomato plants, but they all died somehow. But he seems to have some new tomatoes that I think he propagated off of like a tomato we got at the grocery store or something. So here are his tomato plants and storm shutters. So, okay, hello, Paul from Belrico. Yes, so we got it going on here. This is, all right, here we go. This is a real life, let me see if I can move, I don't know if I can move this camera back. This is a real life Florida backyard. Hurricane Ian reporting live for the Sewing Report. This is Jen, and this is, yeah, this is what's currently happening. All right, let me see if I can move the camera back. Hold on a second. All right, here, guys. Simone says these Florida gators are practically, some of them are pretty large, especially in some of the golf courses. Break out the wine. Yes, I guess this would be the time. I just need some coffee though. That's really what I need. All right, let me see if I can get a close up of something interesting. Yeah, this is so weird though, because normally there are a lot of birds back here. And today the birds are nowhere to be. I don't even know what that thing in the middle is. Do you guys know what that is? And I've actually never walked back there either, so that's pretty interesting. Yeah, I've never really, just because there's so many birds back there, I just normally kind of stay away from it. This is the current situation. It is pretty windy. I guess the winds are about 35 miles per hour currently. So, I mean, it's not super crazy here. We're not getting the 100-mile winds like the Fort Myers area. So, yeah, check this out. It is very wet outside, and it is pretty cold. It feels like it's about 70 degrees, so it is pretty chilly outside. So this is the real backyard here. Yeah, I don't see any critters out here today, that's for sure. Yeah, and my neighbors, like, that is actually a really interesting looking screening enclosure back there. Never really, it's pretty cool. Yeah, some of my neighbors have evacuated. I saw my neighbors across the street leaving. So some people with family in the area are like they are going somewhere else. We're staying because again we are not in an evacuation, not in a flood zone. It's just going to be, you know, I think the wind, honestly, in my opinion, the wind is going to be one of the biggest threats, and the power situation. If you don't have power for several days, storm surge afterwards, of course. So there's that. But this is what it looks like back here. And yeah, it's pretty. This is a pretty wild time here. That's for sure. I mean, but honestly, just from my own experience here, this is actually not that the rain, in my opinion, right now is not as intense as a lot of other summer storms. But obviously, I might be eating my words. I'm sure that might change later. So I did shoot a little bit of video earlier on the street, just on the front street, because the palm trees were shaking and everything like that. I did see a couple like down, like really small tree branches, but nothing really crazy. So here, this is Hurricane Ian live from a Florida backyard. It is getting pretty windy though. All right, yeah, okay, yeah, now it's starting to get a little windy here. All right, it's just started to pick up. Here's the trees. These are, I think those are oak trees. Yeah, nobody's outside today. I think I might be one of the, yeah, I mean, maybe in their own screening porches, but I have not seen any cars on the road. I have not seen anybody like walking on the sidewalk or anything. So this is what it looks like outside Tampa, Florida. If you're just joining in, welcome. This is the Sewing Report. Normally, I do sewing videos, but because I am in impacted by Hurricane Ian, I thought I would do a live stream for my backyard just to give everybody an update. Yes, Liz, no, I'm not in Fort Myers. Although I did talk to my friend whose dad lives in Fort Myers, and he's actually not evacuating. So I think they're going to be okay. Yeah, look at this water moving in that pond, though. Pretty interesting stuff. Here's the wind. Can you guys hear the wind, or is it just me? I don't know. I am wearing the AirPods, so I'm not really sure how much wind is picking up, but it is very windy, very humid, pretty chilly air. And normally it is still pretty warm here, but I mean, this is hurricane season, and this is what you should expect here. All right, here we go. Now let's look at those trees again. Let me see if I can zoom into the trees. Okay, so nobody can hear. The wind is pretty loud. Okay, well, I guess the AirPod noise cancellation feature does work very well. So here are some trees. I mean, these are pretty established trees too. Yeah, no bird, definitely no birds today. Yeah, I'm not gonna be leaving the patio either. Like it's definitely, well, it's super wet outside. Plus, I would definitely destroy the phone. So that probably wouldn't be a good sacrifice. But yeah, look at all this rain. I mean, it's pretty messy out there. Okay, I see a bird. All right, guys, we've spotted what I think is a bird. Oh no, I think that's just something on my screen. Okay, that's not a bird. Yeah, it's just something weird on my screen. Okay, my bad. All right, thank you, Liz. Thanks for joining us. I just wanted to check in live and give you guys a live look at what's really going on. This is something you're not going to see on the Weather Channel here because it's not as exciting as they tried to make it on TV. So this is kind of, yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I want to be clear that this level of rain intensity is not at all abnormal for my area. This happens like every week, every afternoon. The only factor that's different is the wind speed. But other than that, it's really just not like I just think people think this is like more dramatic than it is. And certainly in some areas, it is going to be very bad. But outside of the like direct path of the storm, it's not as exciting as they try to make it look like on the news. So, and I know firsthand because I used to work for the news. So, and they love covering weather though. Plus, it's a big money maker for the stations and the networks. So, that's one of the reasons that you see all of these weather events played up so much on TV. There's definitely a financial incentive for sure. Plus, this is going to sound really strange, but from a production standpoint, weather is actually a pretty easy story for news outlets to cover. And I know that might seem really strange because weather is so unpredictable. But from, when you're sitting in the newsroom doing weather, it's like the same formula every time. And, so there are a lot of things from a format standpoint and from, just from a production standpoint that are very formulaic and easy to cover. So that's actually one of the reasons why you see weather covered so heavily on your local and national news stations is because it's pretty easy for them to do, and because there is a lot of money involved because they tend to get more viewership during severe weather. So that's why whenever you see like even if the weather event doesn't turn into anything crazy, that's why you see them go all out on all of those weather events. There is definitely a financial incentive. So this is my backyard. Very, yeah, and that's funny that you guys can't really hear the wind because the wind is definitely pretty intense, but it's not even like it's only at like 35 miles an hour. So we're not even at like peak wind speeds at all. Is there anyone else in the chat from Florida here? Am I the only one? Let me know. It's very wet back here. All right. If it's less windy, I'll try to get a little closer to the screen. Okay, yeah. All right. There's too much rain. Okay. Way too much rain here. So that's why I'm kind of standing back is so my phone, I don't think iPhones are waterproof, so we're not really going to take that chance. Although I can zoom in a little bit if we see something interesting. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. So here is the retention pond in the back. Yeah, nobody outside. Wow, okay, those people actually left their cars outside. Interesting. Okay. We got some vehicles. I guess they're not too worried about those, I guess. Got the water. All right, Norma says that pond looks a little too close to the house. You know, it is, we're about, it's not that close. It's probably about, I would say a good 30, it's about 30 feet from our patio, probably something like that. So, I mean, we'll see. I'm curious to see how high this water gets here. That'll be pretty interesting to see what ends up happening with that. And I'm very, like, I am concerned about the storm surge and the flooding. Don't get me wrong. My area is not prone to flooding, but that is always a concern. I do have flood insurance. Even though, so flood insurance in our neighborhood is not required, but I have it anyways. I always get flood insurance. Even when we lived in Atlanta, I still had flood insurance just because. Yeah, it is really normally when it's not hurricane time. Florida is a very beautiful place. I like it here. I did see a couple birds flying around. Yeah, let's look at. Yeah, these skies are pretty dark. All right, yeah, I'm seeing some birds flying. Yeah, check. Wait, are they going into the pond? Okay, yeah, here's some birds over here. Yeah, check this out. Where are they going to go though? All right. Yeah, there's some birds. I've seen a couple. They're like really freaking out now. They're trying to figure out what's going on here. Okay, yeah, there's a bird flying there. Yeah, look at that grass. Look at how fast that's whipping around. That's pretty intense here. And I'm sorry for the shaky phone. I'm doing this handheld style, and this is kind of on the fly. Okay, yeah, there's a couple more birds. I feel bad for the birds. Oh wait, they really got to try to. All right, it's pretty windy out here now. Okay, wind is picking up. If it gets too windy, I'm definitely going inside. But for now, it's not because I'm in a patio. Okay. Oh, there's a bird. There's a couple birds here. Poor birds. They got to figure out where to go now. Wow, there's a lot of birds. What's going on with that? All right. Thank you, Norma, for subscribing. I greatly appreciate it. And also a public service announcement. I will not be shipping out Etsy orders for the rest of the week because I don't know when our mail service will be resumed. Mail service in Florida is absolutely disrupted, so I'm not really sure when that's going to be back on. Okay, yeah, we just saw a bunch of birds here. So then get closer. All right, I'm able to get somewhat close to the door now because I think the rain for. Okay, here we go. Oh wait, there's some more birds too. I'm gonna get away from the door now. There we go. Yeah, the water is pretty intense. It's not terrible. And ironically, I did buy some rubber boots a couple weeks ago just because they were cute, not realizing that I might have a need for them. And at the time, I was like, I don't know when I'm going to need rubber boots, but these are really cute. So that ended up being pretty good timing. I probably will be vlogging a little bit today, and I will show you guys the boots because they are really cute. Even though this is kind of a serious thing to buy them for. This is a real life Florida backyard. All right, here we go. We still have electricity somehow, so that's a pleasant surprise. Okay, something is really howling over here. I'm really shocked that you guys can't hear all the wind. So, like, oh, there's a lot of wind whipping around over here. Trees are definitely blowing. It's raining. And, and last night, the storm path changed. I mean, the storm's path changed twice yesterday in between updates. So originally it was Hurricane Ian was en route to my neighborhood directly. Then it moved south, so now we're no longer in the direct path. We're still going to be somewhat close to it, but I think by the time it gets to our area, I think it's supposed to be a category 1. So that is, I am very grateful for that. Obviously, it's got to go somewhere, so it is terrible for those other areas. Um, but it's kind of like a roll of the dice with these things. So I hope everyone's staying safe, and if you are in Florida, take your proper precautions, evacuate if necessary, make sure you have enough supplies. Surprisingly, we don't have a generator, but after this, that's definitely something we are going to be buying. And so far, we have not lost power yet, although I feel like that is pretty imminent that we're going to lose power. Anyways, okay, wow, that's really close. I'm gonna be making some more coffee soon and trying to get on with the day. So I'm gonna wrap up this live stream. But drop any questions you have, or if you have like a random comment, I'd love to hear it. I am live from Florida in a backyard outside Tampa, in my screen patio. And yes, here are the hurricane shadows. So I hope everyone's having a great day. Stay safe and dry, and I will check in soon. I really hope we don't lose power, because that would be pretty annoying and scary. So I will see you guys later for the sewing report. I'm Jen, and this is obviously not a sewing video, but due to the circumstances, I thought I would check in anyways. All right, bye guys.